Months after the agents find Mulder dead, they receive word that Billy Miles, one of the abductees, is found at sea, clinging to life.
What happens next shocks everyone and gives hope that Mulder may yet somehow be alive.
This is not happening.
Oh my god. Please.
You are so hopeful.
Please let him be alive.
Maybe it's the ultimate bait and switch that, no, he's just going to stay on being dead. You know, I think they should have killed him. Just done him in.
That would be the ultimate fuck you to David Duchovny from Chris Carter. You think you can
fired.
quit
on live on TV?
Well, yeah, sure. Come
done.
back for season 8. We'll keep you alive. Yeah. Nope, you're actually dead.
So, ladies and germs, we are talking about Deadalive tonight. Episode 15, season 8. Again, written by Chris Carter and Frank Spotnitz, much like the first part of this two-parter, Mother Mythology arc. Mike, this one's directed by Tony Warmby. Do you remember what Tony directed for the show before?
What did he do? I know the name. I did
not have great things to say about the episode that he directed.
Well, that does not help me
narrow
at
it down.
All. Okay. Oh, boy.
Let me spoil it for you. It was Via Negativa.
Oh, Via Negativa. That's
Yeah. What a weirdo of a script.
Whatever, dude.
Now, that said, I mean, I don't think it was his fault. I think the direction was fine. And I think the direction in Deadalive was fine. Again, it's just all about that script. It's always the case for me. If it's bad, it's usually the script.
All right.
So, do we want to talk about David Duchovny and how he was paid, theoretically, to be in this show, in this episode? And how much has he actually shown up so far?
He shows up at the end. Like his actual human self is...
He has 3 lines of dialogue.
He's there. And that's it.
Apparently, due to his unavailability, a stunt double wore a mask of his face when in the scene where he is exhumed. Yep. It's not even him. That's crazy.
But, you know, when you gotta go, you gotta go. He's moving, baby.
He's big into evolution right now, that movie. And I think we figured out there was another one that he was prepping for. So his movie career has taken off. Speaking of, before we take off into Deadalive, is there anything you wanted to say about this episode before we descend?
This episode, like I said a little bit ago, I think it's...
You mean last week?
Yes. Or even minutes ago. I don't remember.
Last week?
Last week. This episode, more so than the last episode, gets a little weird with ideas and things they want to inject into the show. So this might be where the mythology starts to take a nosedive. I mean, that being said, obviously there are problems before this, but there are things where it's like, all right, we're trying to do a lot. And unfortunately for this episode, it's the main thrust of the episode. So
am I hearing that you didn't like this one as much as the previous one?
I think I could say that. I would agree with that.
Ironically enough, I like this one more than the previous one.
Because we could never align on anything.
I didn't want to even save that for the end. But yeah, it's, I'm not saying it's a great episode. It's not, but the amount of red cards I threw on, this is not happening. It just like, it does not even compare. This one's like a masterpiece in comparison.
Oh,
and I'm gonna lay it on, and we'll get into it. Obviously, I don't want to blow everything around here, but the scenes between Kersh and Doggett, they're gold.
Oh yeah, great stuff.
And there's enough of them that you're like, okay, there's a little arc in here that's sort of is the solid foundation.
I do like that, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Well, without anything else, any further ado, shall we be both dead and alive at the same time?
Yes, let's do it.
So we open in Raleigh, North Carolina in winter. Snow covers the ground at a cemetery where the funeral of Fox Mulder is underway. The tombstone, now coming in handy for the purpose, declares the absoluteness of his death. And as the Reverend goes on about Mulder's reunion with God and noting, with irony perhaps, that God will resolve the mysteries Mulder was seeking to uncover, the camera passes over our extended cast of characters, brought in to Los Angeles at great expense, not to mention creating a winter scene both with real snow and CGI post-production in an LA backlot. Did it pass your notice that we have the lone gunman and we have Scully's mom, who are in the episode for this scene only?
I mean, the one I question is Kersh.
Why he would be there?
Yeah.
I think he's...
I mean, he's probably there for business reasons only. Like, it would look bad if his direct-ish superior didn't show up. But
yeah, I'm okay with him being there.
I'm fine with
frankly,
it.
he's on the call sheet, so let's use him. But, having the lone gun... And don't get me wrong, I fully believe that the lone gunman would be there, but they have no lines. They have no place in the episode. And Scully's mom, like, sure, she's there for emotional support. I get that too. But, I mean, talk about... Like, they had to fly her in from BC. It's not like... It wasn't for nothing.
Yeah, well, fan service. I mean, I would not say that it's unnecessary. I think it wouldn't be believable if they weren't there. We'd be going, where the fuck is everyone else? So, yeah, you got to spend money to make money, Andrew. And this episode made them a lot of money.
Okay, well, this is the end of February sweeps. So I suppose they're pulling out all the stops. They are serving the fans, as we say.
Yep.
Well, the camera lingers on Skinner, Scully, and Scully's mom, as Scully seems to be resolved to Mulder's death. Later on, it's just Scully and Skinner as the casket descends into the earth. Scully notes how Mulder's entire family is gone now, as Scully's theme plays out in the background in strings. She breaks down, unable to believe that Mulder is gone. A hopeful note from Skinner as he mentions that maybe Mulder's not the last. A hint to Scully's baby, perhaps? Oh. Scully leans into Skinner as we fade to credits. And David Duchovny's in the credits, so probably he's not actually dead, Mike.
Nope, he's dead. That's it.
That's it.
Give him one last credit. End of show.
End of show.
Well, if I'm Skinner, I'm thinking, well, now's my chance. Swoop in as the hero, be the dad that couldn't be there for their son.
She is attracted to powerful authority figures, so it's a good thing.
And then when Mulder wakes up, it becomes a whole love triangle.
Yeah.
And then it turns into Days of Our Lives.
Listen, he had his chance in the last episode when she's out there talking about Starlight. I mean, come on. She's totally ready. But no, he's too good a man for that.
Scully, let me drive you home.
Scully, our hotel rooms are right over there.
I could only get one room. I do apologize.
And now my shirt is chafing me. Oh my God. All right. 3 months later, Doggett joins Skinner in Kersh's office. Kersh is in a good mood, commending Doggett and handing over a letter to him. It's a commendation, noting his work in the recovery of Mulder, along with a recommendation for advancement. Skinner notes Doggett is being transferred out of the X-Files, but Doggett says he'll give it some thought. Okay, there we go, episode, trying to give us a little bit of tension.
I like it. And this is part of why I like Doggett. I believe this moment.
Mm-hmm.
He's grown in the X-Files at least a little bit. I'm not saying he's a believer by any means.
He hasn't grown at all. I love it.
What I'm saying is, I'm saying the experiences and Scully, Skinner, all of that has kind of grown on him. So he's feeling a little bit of obligation and a little bit of, I might be abandoning someone or a department if I leave. And he's also feeling a little bit more, I can believe that he's feeling a little bit more part of the team and appreciated down there. So we'll see. We'll see.
I think about the episodes we have had so far. I mean, it was only just recently, and it was literally the episode before this two-parter, Permanum, where he is distinctly placed outside the circle of trust.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I can't tell you why I'm going away.
But the level of trust you have to think Scully's just not thinking clearly. She doesn't trust anyone right now. So.
Baby brain. Okay, sure.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, obviously, they play up her paranoia once Mulder leaves. So, it's even though she should have trusted Doggett way before Permanum, she didn't. So,
okay, the one thing I will take except, and honestly, I really do like this episode better, but I'm going to poke at this a little bit. I don't think that you have much control over your career in the FBI. I think if they want to promote you or transfer you out of the X-Files, you're gone. I don't think he's got much choice to stay other than...
Well, they give him a lot of agency in this one.
Yeah.
They try to coax him out of the X-Files. They don't force him out.
It's like, if you want to shut down the X-Files, Kersh, you can do it. I don't understand why, there is this, think about it. It's like, no, the agency has need of you elsewhere, sir.
Yeah.
But I guess they frame it as a question, so we're allowed to go there.
Would you like to be promoted?
Yeah.
I mean, it does happen. I will not say that you can't. In the FBI, probably not. It's probably like, hey, we need you here. This is where you're going. But yes,
in the X-Files, you're on the X-Files.
Business world, absolutely. It's take it or leave it kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
And I don't think that there's enough good stuff in there that, like, I think begrudgingly he because he is the way he is, he does feel this responsibility to Scully, and that's why he's going to stay. But I don't believe it's reciprocated. Like, I don't think they're a big team or something. It's just, there's enough stuff that's gone under that bridge that I feel like this is your affectation. This is not like, you've got some great bond with Scully or something.
Right.
So back in the X-Files office, a tired and pregnant-looking Scully is going through files as Doggett arrives.
A.D. Skinner just called. He told me about your meeting with Kersh.
Well, whatever he told you, I'm still going to be here to drive you crazy with questions and nagging down.
You'd be crazy to stay, Agent Doggett. This is a huge career opportunity for you.
It's not my career, it's getting mine.
What do you mean?
6 weeks you go on maternity leave. Kersh transfers me out. Guess what? He gets to lock that door over there for good.
You don't owe me anything, Agent Doggett.
They put me down here to find Mulder. I found him. So what? We still got an open file on this case, and I got big questions. What?
I heard the same speech come out of my mouth 7 years ago. Get out while you can, Agent Doggett, or you may never get out at all.
I'm not sure. You know what? I'm just going to move on because there's so much like digging back through the vault of old scripts to be like, yeah, I said that before. I mean, they clearly thought they were on their way out at this point. If they're playing those kind of notes,
my head was doing a Rolodex of, did she ever say that?
Yeah, exactly. And again, why he feels any commitment to stay there, I don't understand.
Well, I think you're thinking way too hard about, like, he's not a person. I think he would have at this point, we're over 15 weeks at least, plus 3 months after they found Mulder. There has to be some growth somewhere. So I can believe there's at least a dedication or a appreciation for Scully as a person and a partner by this point, that he would feel some urge to stay or need to stay. So I think you're being a little unfair a little bit with that one.
Okay. I won't dwell on it then. I'll move on. We're going to cut to the Atlantic Ocean off Cape Fear, North Carolina. A fishing trawler is in the thick of a fearsome storm, reeling in a catch. A fisherman spots something in the water, calling for an all-stop and having them shine lights, revealing a body floating in the water. The body looks bloated and distended. The fisherman notes there probably isn't a reason to hurry. In the county morgue of Wilmington, North Carolina, Dr. Orovets and his assistants go over the dead body. The DA wants to know how it got there, and apparently it can't wait, pulling everyone out of bed. Orovets examines the body. A big surgical scar at the sternum, a pattern of scarring on each facial cheek. Sounds like aliens. With the joke that the body will have to sit up and tell them what happened, he settles in for a long night, at which point the assistant notes the body's lips are moving. It looks like a joke until the doctor sees it too. All right, so this is Billy Miles come back,
At
and
this point,
Billy's
Billy's
lips
tentacles
are moving.
rip the pipes out of the walls. They starts attacking everybody.
Yeah,
the room fills with smoke.
Actually, that doesn't happen.
And then
it's another episode you're thinking of.
He grabs Dr. Oaken by the throat and begins speaking with the president. Oh, wait.
No, not in this
Not
one.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, later on, at Doggett's place, back in the ranch, he's awoken by the phone. It's Skinner driving in the rain. He wants Doggett to meet him at the office, filling him in on the details. Fisherman pulled in a body, which the pathologist in Wilmington, North Carolina, has identified as that of Billy Miles. So, Mike, it is time to bring in all of our old guest actors. It's a class reunion. Mm-hmm. The big reveal is that Billy was dead, but now he's alive. He is, in fact, dead alive. Later at the office, Doggett suggests that Skinner should keep this from Scully so as not to reopen old wounds. The two drive together to a snowy graveyard. Looks like they're going to exhume Mulder. Just can't keep a good corpse down. Now, Doggett is not into this idea, but Skinner decides it's worth looking into. The two of them stand next to a backhoe as it digs up Mulder's casket. Later, they follow it into the coroner's office where there's a large group of people standing around to watch the show. One of the dudes makes a big deal about how there's paperwork to do this all off-site, and you brought in another pathologist who doesn't work here, so word gets around. And apparently this is the best show in town. Well, Skinner asked Dr. Orovets to conduct the autopsy, so they flew him up especially. Orovets and assistant open up the casket, stepping away to reveal what looks to me like the dead body of Agent Mulder. And we fade to commercial. And here's where I will allow you to speak and tell me how great everything is so far.
What? Whoa. Are you taking shots? Well, like I just accept everything? Man. No, I mean, am I intrigued by this point? Is first viewer Mike intrigued? Yes. Mm-hmm. Is he excited for Mulder's return? Yes. Is story TV writing Mike excited? I'm starting to lose it a little bit. The whole, like, it gets bad at the end. But the whole idea that the aliens are doing whatever they need to do to these people and essentially kill them for them to be reborn as super soldiers is strange. And then let's just say Mulder's story resolves a little perfectly.
Yeah. I mean, for me, this whole episode is a cumbersome way to answer the question, how do we return Agent Mulder to active service? It's on par with The Gift, the episode The Gift, where they decide they're gonna destroy Doggett by shooting him in the gut, and then the narrative is how do we return him to life? So they've created a problem, then they solve it. Here, the problem has been created for them, outside of the show. They've lost David Duchovny for a lot of episodes. They decide to cover it up by having him literally abducted out of the series. And now they have to figure out how to get him back in. Their bait and switch is he's dead. So now they got to figure out how to bring him back to life. So it's convoluted, but I accepted that literally all we're doing is we're watching the episode for the how. We know, the minute his name's in the credits, we know he's going to make it out. It's okay.
Well, obviously.
The poll for us is to decide how is this going to happen? How are you going to solve this? So I'm in for that. That I kind of like that they've gone this way, and it's like, all right, he's dead, but how they going to bring him back to life? What's the plot going to do for this? And my hope is that it's going to be believable enough for me that I'm not going to tick you off. And it is kind of, I will spoil the surprise by saying they get there from here, but it's a bumpy ride.
Bumpy ride.
And we're going to come back at the U.S. Naval Hospital in Annapolis, Maryland. And of course, Scully shows up. She's heard the memo. She's figured out what's going on. She's desperate to see Mulder, but Skinner, old Dad, gets in the way. She demands to know if it's true, and the script teases it out as long as possible until we cut to a hospital room, seeing a machine showing vital signs, Mulder's vital signs, impossibly low, but apparently he's alive. The doctor proclaims it all as impossible. Mulder's tissue, his neurovascular system, all in a state of decomposition. He should be dead, but it's Mulder, so he's going to beat the odds. All right, so this is our first appearance of Mulder. Were you excited? Did you buy into this?
God,
You're like,
there he
okay,
is.
Cool, we're here now.
We're here. Things are going. He's breathing.
He's breathing at the start.
So that's a start.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The thing that nags me a little bit here is his tissue and neurovascular system being in a state of decomposition. There's a little voice in the back of my head going, I don't think you come back from that. But
hard to regrow tissue and organs, but we'll see what happens.
He's a zombie. This is what we got here. He's a zombie Mulder. Well, Doggett goes out into the hallway to bring some facts to Scully, who looks at him with those big old doe eyes. And everyone is so friggin' desperate to protect Scully, despite her possibly being the strongest character of the show. Doggett suggests she doesn't see him, but she ignores him, going into Mulder's room. And we have easily 2 minutes of Scully being super glad and super sad to see Mulder, eventually leaning into his post-decomposing body and crying into his chest.
She's got to fight through the smell and just cry on his chest.
I can only imagine what that must smell like.
He's been in a casket for 3 months at a minimum.
Yeah. They probably washed him off, They give him a shower. No. Yeah, it's got to be right.
It's got a family of ants living in his asshole.
Okay, now. So, if you were on the fence about the episode, we're going to get a little bit of a lift to bring us back out because we have another Doggett Kersh scene. We cut to Kersh's office where Doggett arrives. Kersh pushes Doggett towards a future with the FBI, reminding him of his job offer. Kersh reveals he knows about the Mulder thing, almost putting it in air quotes, and he wants Doggett to drop it. If it looks bad, it's bad for the FBI. He's throwing John a rope. Don't hang yourself with it, which is good enough a line that I give it a nod and say, okay. It's one of those things you do sometime in the episode where the episode's trash, but you have one little bit of business in there. You're like, it's too good. It's too good just to walk past.
I mean, the scenes with Doggett and Kersh are enticing because you can feel, obviously, there's Kersh's end of things, which is very, let's get this over with. I thought this was over.
Mm-hmm.
And things were looking good. He was planning a barbecue with his family for the weekend, and Mulder comes crashing back into his life. So he's not happy right now.
Definitely not.
His motivations, obviously, are proving to be revealed here, and Doggett was right. He's just trying to get him out of the X-Files to further whatever agenda. The two have a little bit of a close face-to-face stare down, which is pretty nice. But
you know what? I think that there is an element of Kersh which... So Doggett seems to think that this is self-serving, right? That by getting Doggett out and when Scully goes on maternity leave, he can close the X-Files. Again, I contend that he could do that anytime he wants. He doesn't need to have some big justification. But fair enough. I would say that he is also legitimately rewarding Doggett. He's like, you did the job I asked. You've closed the Mulder case. There's an opportunity here. You are too good for the X-Files. Get on with it.
Right.
So to have this scene to remind him to be like, listen, you can just walk away. You've got your out. This is obviously an opportunity for Doggett to prove his mettle as a stand-up guy who's going to come through and support Scully in this crisis of hers. I get that, but but it confuses me a little bit.
I mean, in the first episode of the season, they were talking about what is Kersh's motivation to even assign Doggett to the X-Files. And that was more than just finding Mulder. He was someone he was using who could potentially maybe even surpass Kersh, is the idea that Doggett was on a one-way ticket to the top of the chain.
Yeah. Yep.
So you have to, and I would be honest if I'm saying that I at times forget about that in this moment where, he's offering him out of the X-Files. That's where a lot of people stop with that. But if you do step back and it's like, oh yeah, he had other motivations at the beginning of the season that we have to remember in order to give this scene a little bit more weight. Now, am I giving it too much credit? Probably. But at the same time, there you have to at least have Doggett think that, okay, you want me on the X-Files to kind of hinder my upward trajectory, and now you're taking me off the case. What are you going to do to me now? And will I always be beholden to you for this favor or whatever? That's kind of where my head goes now.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's fair or not, or if it's, again, giving it too much credit, but.
Well, I don't think we have enough data about Kersh to really make that decision. I guess I choose to look at it as like, this serves both Kersh and Doggett. You know, maybe there's an alliance being made here, but ultimately I don't see anything nefarious about it other than it, as I say, it serves his interests in a variety of ways.
Right.
Anyway, it's a cool scene.
Absolutely.
So back at the hospital, Scully goes to visit Billy Miles, who looks both better and worse than he did when we last saw him. Yeah. As Scully goes over his chart, Billy goes into convulsions, his vital signs monitor helpfully reporting nothing but a single question mark, his heartbeat erratic. Eventually, his vital signs go back to normal. Everything's going to be just fine. A nurse eventually arrives. I guess they don't have an alarm set up in Nurse Central or something, but she shows up to take some measurements and discovers Scully, so we have this moment of who are you, whatever. And Scully drops us as much backstory as we need about herself, Billy, and her partner. Scully leaves, but not before mentioning to the nurse that someone should really check out this potentially faulty equipment. Felt like a red herring, but it actually does come up later.
So. It does come up later. And is it a nice throwback to Lazarus, Andrew, with the 2 heartbeats there?
Well, if it is, I didn't catch it. I get it now. I just thought the machine was messed up. I know that's the point they're going to make later, but I didn't see it in the moment. I was just like, that machine is not helpful if you're just showing
question mark. I don't know what's happening.
That's not, well, you could take that to mean that the machine is registering signals that are not human. I suppose.
My God.
That's kind of where I went, but it's like,
tell you what, if I was hooked up to that machine and I saw that, I'd be like, nurse.
I want to go to a different hospital. Yeah.
Sign me out.
Back at the FBI, Skinner is walking down the hall when he suddenly stumbles and collapses. He's helped up by his colleagues. He waves off the help. He's okay. Is he having a heart attack? No. That's pain in my left shoulder. That's just stress or something. It's, of course, not that. The popped up veins on his face reveal it can be only one thing. Agent Krycek and his nanobot shenanigans. Skinner meets Krycek in the elevator, who waves his device at him threateningly. Skinner tells him to go to hell, which is really not a good thing to say to somebody who can literally dial up the pain to 11. So, the two of them go to the X-Files office.
Back.
Yeah, he's back.
Regular Houdini. Tell me what you want. What I want is to give you the chance to save Mulder's life. You don't believe me?
No, I don't.
I can push a little button and send the thousands of nanobots lying dormant in your bloodstream sizzling to your brainstem. And all I want to do with that power is save a man's life.
I don't think his life can be saved.
I have a vial that contains a vaccine. Mulder knows of it. His father developed it to fight the alien virus.
No vaccine can help the man I found in that grave.
You found him, and you don't even know what you got.
Skinner leaps for the device, but Krycek is quicker. All right, what did you think of the little Skinner-Krycek reunion?
Oh, it's nice. And it's always good to see Nicholas Lee again.
Mm-hmm.
If you forgot about the nanobots, here they are again.
Yeah, drop that plot nugget in whenever you need to get Skinner to do something unethical.
I don't know. I don't know.
You think that Skinner would do something about that? You know, get a good old full body blood transfusion?
Yeah, just drain himself of blood.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or EMP or something.
Find
the frequency. Like, he knows the lone gunman. I'm sure he can enlist their help.
Yeah. Yes. They're going to send out an EMP pulse. Just a Skinner-sized EMP pulse.
Yeah,
to make sure that happens. But I don't know, man.
Anyway, it's a great little plot nugget. It's fun to have the man in power be powerless. That it is a neat dynamic. I don't mind this scene, actually.
No, I don't mind the scene. I think the story of how Krycek somehow knows what's happening and what he can do to save Mulder. And this is kind of where I choose to hope and pray that I'm correct, is where he's just bullshitting. He has no idea what's going on with Mulder. And he's fucking with Skinner to give him the illusion of control. I don't understand how Krycek could know anything about what's happening, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we've seen him be clued in before. Like, clearly he's got his own network.
But who is he talking to now? The Syndicate doesn't exist. He is a quote unquote rogue agent, as he has been since season 3. But he kind of burned his bridges in Russia. I don't know. I'm sure there's other explanations that we can dive into, but
well, to my mind, it's immaterial. Like his role here is as a foil. Like they do not give us enough information to assess why he is doing what he's doing. I don't actually believe he cares about saving Mulder. If I believe anything, I think that the gambit is to kill Scully's baby for whatever reason.
Again,
like that it's a horrible thing, and he's a villain, so it makes sense that he's making this gambit. I think that he's.
How does he know what it is?
I don't care.
I don't know.
I'm okay with it.
Child.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't think even the character cares. Somehow, I think like maybe somebody's using him to get the deed done. Like, I don't see why Krycek cares whether the baby comes into existence or not. But
right.
I mean, yeah, I think it's just done for dial it up to 11 antics. Like, I don't know anything other than that. It's a fun scene. That's all it really means, because it puts Skinner in a place which is fun. It puts him in a place where he's oppositional.
Absolutely.
Which makes it more interesting, but I don't understand it. I don't necessarily need to.
No.
So we're back in the hospital. We're treated to another gross overhead view of Billy Miles, now completely covered with fleshy sinews. His eyes open, suddenly conscious. He pulls out the breathing tube from his mouth, his vitals beeping chaotically. There's probably a big question mark on that machine. Billy stands from his bed, walking away and into the shower, and we are treated to an equally disgusting moment as, in the shower, his skin sloughs off, complete with raspberry jam, revealing new, fresh skin beneath.
It's that time, everyone. The Magus Media Production sales pitch. Please check out our homepage at magusmediaproductions.net so you can stay up to date on all of our shows. Check out our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/Magus Media Productions, both of which have our Discord link on it, where you can join us for live shows as we record them for future release. At Magus Media Prods on X, our Patreon, patreon.com/Magus Media, where a $5 donation will help us keep the lights on and bringing you new content, and you get some stickers. Thank you for your consideration and support.
Pregnant Scully sits with Mulder, holding his hand. Doggett arrives, chiding Scully for hanging out with her dear dead buddy. Scully pushes back. He's proved himself to her, but no matter what Mulder's chances are, Doggett's opinion not to go and open up Mulder's grave was wrong. Now she wants to know what happened to Mulder. And to break up the scene, the nurse arrives, letting us know that Billy's back on his feet and walking around the hospital naked like a zombie. Down the hallway from our agents, Billy looks like The Walking Dead as we fade to commercial. All right, so lots of stuff just happened there. What do you think of all that?
Cool. Watching Billy Miles get up and become normal again, or quote unquote normal.
Mm-hmm.
Still intrigued as to where this is going.
It's not really clear yet, but it certainly does raise the bar to give us the hope that, if it happened for Billy, it'll probably happen for Mulder.
Absolutely.
And the interaction between Scully and Doggett, is that not... I think its purpose there is to theoretically drive a wedge between them.
Absolutely. It's to give him another reason to leave. Why would you even question raising Mulder's casket and digging him up? How can you do that in such a situation? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Giving him a reason to leave.
Yeah, and that's it, right? This is the challenge to their relationship.
Yeah.
Well, we return to Scully, Doggett, and Billy Miles. Scully asks him what he does remember. He doesn't remember much. He remembers being on the ship and not the fishing ship. They took so many this time, but now he understands. They're here to save us, he says, and gives them a beautiful smile. Well, it does not move Doggett, who leaves them, until Scully comes out to bug him. She confronts him with the contradiction, and it really looks like Doggett's on his way out of the X-Files here. They butt heads. Scully thinks he's just being stubborn, and Doggett challenges Billy's notion that Billy thinks the aliens are here to save the world. So, if we didn't have it before, we definitely have it now. They are
confrontational,
moving apart, would you say?
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely looking like he's probably going to go back to Kersh and be like, you know what? I'll take it.
I'll take your offer. Probably better for his career if he did, but that is not how this show works.
Well, he obviously took something at the end of the season, or at the end of the show. So
end of the show. Early retirement, I would hope. God. All right, well, later on, Scully is going over Billy's charts as Skinner arrives, not having heard the news about Billy.
I know. I'm sorry.
What? This is incredible.
It's too incredible. Sir, there isn't a piece of medical data on him that isn't 100% normal.
Why are you questioning that? When it could mean that the doctors are wrong about Mulder.
Because it doesn't make sense. I mean, there should be blood, fluid, electrolyte imbalances, loss of brain function. But as it is, it's like he shed his skin and literally became a new person. And I don't mean the same person.
What are the chances this could be due to an alien influence? Could it be a virus?
Why are you asking me this? Sir, if you know something... Look, we're working against the clock here. This could happen to Mulder. And until we know what it is, we have to do everything to control it.
There may be a vaccine.
Where?
It doesn't come without a price.
This is about saving a man's life.
Yes. It is.
Whatever the price is, Skinner, do it.
Yeah.
Why would you even question it? All right.
Honestly. It's not like somebody's got a gun to your head.
Socks her in the stomach. Oh.
When Skinner says, what are the chances this could be due to an alien influence? I'm like,
no.
Do you not know where Mulder's been this last 6 months?
Oh, wait, he was really on a ship?
I just saw something, but I don't know if I believe it.
I mean, so it was a flashlight.
That's such a weird line coming from him at that moment. What?
He's reverted back to first 5 seasons Skinner.
Yeah.
What are the chances?
And my favorite part too, there's so many of my favorite parts in this moment, but when he says, when she goes, there's a piece of medical data on him that isn't 100% normal. And he says, why are you questioning that when it could mean the doctors are wrong about Mulder? It's like, why am I questioning that? Because I don't want to be blinded to this obvious thing.
Oh,
I mean, I know that his role is to sort of be the explain it man, dumb it down to me, or dumb it down for me so it can be like the audience. But in this moment, he's really dumb.
Skinner, have you taken any drugs recently? Or
do you have nanobots in your system that are affecting your judgment?
Yes, they are absolutely affecting his mind.
Okay, so I'm not alone thinking that maybe he's okay.
Golly, what's an alien?
What's an alien? Because you think it could be an alien thing? Oh, dear. Well, we cut to the Federal Correctional Facility in Perky, West Virginia. West Virginia, where all the craziest stuff happens in the X-Files. That is my stated position, Mike. I think I'm right. Anyway, Doggett has come to pay a visit to one of the inmates, Absalom, from the previous episode, who's serving a sentence for credit card fraud. Is that what we get?
Absolutely.
I mean, it looks like
at a minimum.
At a minimum. And also being a cult leader. That must be illegal in that state. Yeah. Well, we get a lot of back and forth about Doggett wanting to know more about Absalom's preachings, and specifically about how Absalom healed these people and how he did it. We have some nice tension here, as Doggett's clearly here to see if he can find a cure for Mulder, for Scully's sake, but he doesn't believe anything about these events. So I do kind of dig that tension. It's kind of nice, and Absalom toys with him a bit. You can't even say my name, and he makes him say it.
Yeah.
I like the scene.
I like the scene between them. I do.
Yeah.
I'm actually coming around to Absalom. I wasn't a huge fan of his in the first few viewings of these two episodes, but
Yeah.
I enjoy him.
Well, you know where you've seen that actor before?
Where?
Well, do you don't have an answer off the top of your head?
I don't.
Okay. But you have seen him before.
In this show?
No, not in the show.
Okay, I was going to say bullshit. No.
But you see his face and you're like, I've seen that guy before, right?
Where have you seen him?
He was Joachim in Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan.
Oh,
He was Khan's right-hand man.
Yeah. Good call. As soon as you said that, I was like, bing, there's this picture. Okay.
Yeah. Joachim, I will avenge you. What a great line. Yours is the superior intellect. Star Trek
Kirk.
movies, evens are always the best.
Absolutely.
Okay, so back in the hospital with Skinner. He walks through the halls. He's walking past Mulder's room when he sees Krycek standing in the shadows. Creepy old Krycek, who is apparently ninja. Well, Krycek is back to tempt Skinner, who reminds us of the vaccine MacGuffin. Krycek emerges from the shadows to be lit extra creepily, and he makes his pitch. Scully cannot come to term in her pregnancy. She cannot have that baby. Skinner refuses a bunch of times. Skinner pushes again, and we fade to commercial. So there you go. There's the hammer dropped. What did you think of that moment? Did you think, oh shit, he's gonna do it too?
I never believed that for a second.
100% no.
Obviously,
100% no.
Of all the things that the X-Files did for television or the crime drama,
Yeah.
for all of the barriers that they went right up to and perhaps occasionally stepped over looking at you home, they are not going to kill a baby before it's born, nor are they going to choose abortion of any kind.
Yeah.
So no, I was not afraid of that at all.
I also...
We still can't even approach that on television.
Oh, God, yeah. I submit to you, Mike, even Krycek knew this was not going to happen.
Right.
Like, he should have given a syringe or something to Skinner and say, listen, you just got to prick her with this, and she's going to go into early labor, and that'll be it. The baby will be done. But he doesn't. He's like, just make sure she doesn't enter her first term or whatever. She doesn't finish her pregnancy. You figure it out, basically, is what he's saying. It's like, that's dark.
Yeah.
I also think the method, like choosing to use the nanobots to extort Skinner to get him to do the thing, like it's convenient to put him into the moral quandary, but it's not the most efficient way to solve Krycek's problem, the baby problem.
Right.
I feel like
here's the thing.
Sniper rifle is probably more Krycek.
It's more Krycek. The thing is he doesn't need Skinner.
Absolutely not.
And also, Skinner kind of reverts back into, they want him to be in this gray area. Again, they're moving everyone back. So
yeah, season 5 Skinner, best Skinner.
Season 5 Skinner. Scully is now at odds at least a little bit with Doggett. Doggett is now episode 1, season 8 Doggett. He's on the outside. She doesn't, it's not that he's lost complete trust from her, but the fact that he made to her questionable decisions about Mulder has now put him a little bit on the outs, and maybe their friendship is dissolving a little bit. And now they're moving Skinner back to that moral gray area, or whose side is he on? Because Mulder's coming back into the picture, right? So he can't 100,000% be a believer for Mulder while he's on the scene, because that's not the same show. So they're doing these subtle things to move everyone back a step as Mulder comes back into the show.
I don't know if I'd call it subtle. I don't think it's subtle in
but
a way.
But here's the thing. At this point, as much as Skinner's a tough guy, and I would assume, like most other people on this planet, wants to live, I find it hard to believe he wouldn't be like, push the button, because I'm not going to do what you say.
I absolutely agree with that. Like, I do like the idea that Krycek doesn't want to kill him. Like he wants to extort him with the ability to just induce this pain. Like it is enough that after a while he will comply.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think he's not stupid. He's got resources to draw upon to solve that problem.
All right.
You know, if he knows Krycek's in the hospital, like surrounded with FBI agents, and he's gonna screw up sometime. So, like he sends Doggett down to solve his problem. I don't know. So it's an interesting plot device, but it's
Unnecessary.
a little bit weak.
It was a way to get Krycek back.
Exactly. I mean, for whatever reason.
It's the character reunion episode, just like the end of season 7. You know, we're getting everyone back in, at least for a moment.
The band's back in town.
Yep.
All right. Well, Doggett returns to the hospital, watching Krycek walk away. Now, here we go. He's read through the entire X-Files cabinet. He does not remember the significance of Krycek.
Well, I can't say he has a photo of him. Maybe he does.
Yeah.
Maybe he does, but I'm willing to believe he doesn't.
You got to imagine that there's an APB out on Alex Krycek.
And to be fair, he did go through the X-Files months ago. So
okay.
It's not like
Alec Krycek guy. Yeah. Okay.
Alec Krycek.
Well, we've got long shots of Skinner and Scully. Skinner is definitely doing some serious mulling, and Scully has made a lot of discoveries.
Look, I don't have time to waste debating our differences, Agent Doggett. I strongly believe that Agent Mulder is infected with a virus.
A virus?
A virus that seems to keep the body just alive enough to take it through a transformation.
Into, let me guess, an alien.
Agent Doggett, I don't have time to argue.
I'm not arguing. And for what it's worth, that's what this guy that first found Mulder told me. This man that we put in prison, Absalom?
He told you this was a virus?
No. He said the abductees were being returned and left for dead. That if he hadn't have found them and done his hocus pocus, they would have been resurrected as aliens. It was all part of some big alien takeover of the world.
That's it.
What's it?
How Billy Miles came back so perfectly. When I stood there and watched his body go into seizure just moments before this happened. On the monitor, there were 2 heartbeats, and I told the nurse that it was just a mechanical error.
You think this kid has sloughed his skin and come back as an alien?
And it'll happen to Mulder if we don't stop it soon.
Where are you going?
I need a surgical bay, a team of doctors. I have to keep Mulder's body stabilized in order to administer the vaccine.
What vaccine?
The one I asked A.D. Skinner to get me.
Oh, no. This
boy.
means that Skinner's made his big decision. He's joined the dark side. Well, Doggett goes to confront Skinner, who's in Mulder's room. The door's locked and Skinner's not opening it for Doggett. We hear Mulder's vital signs go into distress. The machine is probably giving a helpful question mark. Doggett kicks down the door, confronting Skinner, who has apparently pulled the plug on Mulder's life support system. They scuffle, and Skinner reveals his potential deal with the devil to Doggett and the decision he's made. Rather than sacrifice Scully's baby, he's going to sacrifice Mulder. Doggett asks where Krycek is. Now, before we go into that action-packed sequence, I want to give you a chance to chime in with your thoughts on that whole bit of exchanges.
I mean, it's ramping up the tension. I think we know where this is heading. We know that Doggett is about to go drop some T-1000 justice on Krycek, or at least that's what he hopes to do. Again, still a little weirded out by the whole vaccine alien virus part of it. Not sure I'm okay with it. And, you know.
They pass right over that plot point.
Yeah.
Where Doggett says, no, he says the abductees were returned left for dead and he hadn't done his thing and they would have been resurrected as aliens. So definitely casting, in answer to our questions about Jeremiah and his role, casting them as oppositional to the aliens that are doing the alien body delivery.
Absolutely. And Doggett's kind of coming back around to being, he's just letting the plot kind of wash over him, and he's not questioning anything anymore. I'm going to go find this guy and get whatever Scully thinks he's holding. Whether I believe this is alien or not.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not convinced of Doggett yet, but anyway, it allows the plot to sort of plod along. It's fine. All right, we're into the big action set piece now. We cut to Krycek sitting in his car, looking swarthy and sexy with his leather jacket and 5 o'clock shadow. In his rearview mirror, he sees Doggett, gun drawn, coming into view. Krycek peels off in reverse, causing Doggett to dive out of the way, losing his gun. Krycek tears off, but not before Doggett hangs precariously off of Krycek's driver's door. Car swerves madly. They throw punches. Krycek collides with a bunch of cars and he ditches Doggett. And it looks like he's going to get away in his wreck of a car. Doggett drags his beaten body off the ground. Krycek drives back into the scene. He gets out of his car. It looks like they're going to square off again. But he tempts Doggett with the vaccine vial. As Doggett walks towards him, blood dripping sexily off of Krycek's lip, Krycek callously drops the vaccine to the pavement, smashing it, and he drives away. What a bad boy. Oh man, what did you think of that whole sequence?
Good stuff. I always enjoy it. And a good fight scene has been missing from this show for a little bit here.
It has indeed. All we needed was a few gunshots to, spark up the tension. But I got to admit, I really liked the switch, the twist, where it's not just Krycek got away. He came back to fuck with Doggett.
Yep.
The vaccine.
That's classic Krycek. He's a very sadistic person. So
no, but I don't know if it is classic Krycek.
Well, maybe not classic, but he's a bastard.
He is a bastard, but I think this is more than just like I've always seen Krycek as 100% self-interested. Like it's the Krycek show, and he's doing things which benefit him. But this, like coming back when he could escape to essentially twist the knife and rub Doggett's nose in it, like that's a step beyond what we've seen from Krycek so far.
Well, this is season 8 Krycek.
It is.
He's said enough.
With that 5 o'clock shadow, man, he is such a bad boy. Holy cow.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh. All right. Well, Doggett returns to Skinner, but without the vaccine. And Doggett agrees with Skinner that he wasn't to be trusted. You did the right thing. So at this point, the question is, was the vaccine for real, or was it just a ploy to try and get Skinner on board?
I think it's
what are
a
your
ploy.
thoughts?
I don't believe
he
had anything. He had no idea what's going on with Mulder. Mm-hmm. And he's just trying to, whatever he's trying to do, he's trying to use Skinner to do it. So
if that vaccine is truly valuable, he's not tossing it on the ground.
Right.
That's a total FU moment.
Yeah, he can sell it. He can do whatever he needs to do.
Oh, God, yeah. Well, Mulder is now in the operating room. They're prepping him for surgery. And for some ridiculous reason, Scully is going to participate. She's dressed up in scrubs. I mean, talk about conflict of interest. Really? I mean, am I off base here? Like, why is she involved in this?
I mean, you're probably right. But I guess for the show, I believe that she would be so determined to participate in whatever happens to Mulder.
Yeah. You just know there's a doctor out there saying, you really shouldn't be part of this.
Right.
You're too close to it, Scully.
God damn it.
Well, she reveals that the life support system was actually helping to incubate the virus, hastening it along. So actually, Skinner did a good thing by trying to put Mulder out of his misery. Scully is going to give him a course of antivirals. There's no vaccine, but maybe it will be enough. While Doggett gets a phone call, and he is summoned out of the scene. So we're on tenterhooks wondering if it indeed will be enough to save Mulder's life. Do you have a bet? Do you think that Mulder will survive?
If I had to bet, I'm going to say no.
Even odds. Yeah, I think so. Well, Doggett is summoned for our final Doggett Kersh scene. The two square off in a particularly tense scene where much is implied and not much is said. The only thing that comes of it is Kersh saying it's going to be awfully crowded down in the X-Files office. So Doggett's chances for motion have been tanked.
Rescinded.
And again, it is what anchors this episode for me. I think it actually works well. Without it, it would have been a poor episode.
It's a great scene. Great scene. Finally cements Doggett as part of the X-Files. Which, in our minds, I think he was there already, but this is show saying you are now an agent of the X-Files.
Yeah, exactly. Well, back in the hospital, it looks like Mulder's recovering. Scully's there post-op, holding his hand, and his hand jerks. It looks like we're going to get exactly 1 minute of David Duchovny's acting chops. He turns to look at Scully, who's tearing up, shocked at his condition. He struggles to speak, eventually saying, "Who are you?" Which sends her into a spin of emotions. But, Mike, it's just a joke, which is kind of what we need.
Joke.
Kind of what we need at this point to break the tension. She's happy he's back. Does he know what he's been through? It doesn't seem so, but it doesn't matter. She's back to leaning her head on his shoulder. A final moment where Doggett arrives to witness her tearful connection with Mulder and leaves straight away again. Guess those two aren't hooking up anytime soon.
Boom, boom,
And
boom,
we
boom.
fade to black.
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
There it is.
Yep.
He's back.
That's it. We're back into form, apparently. It's been a bumpy ride, but we finally got through these two. Mike, I welcome your final thoughts.
I'm okay with the episode. I know I've had a lot to say about it. The two-parter of This Is Not Happening and Deadalive, okay. Not episodes I go to for any particular reason. The ideas of This Is Not Happening sit better for me. And again, of course, the emotional climax of that episode, the conclusion of that episode, better for me. This episode, fine enough, but I start to get lost. Not so much lost, but the plot loses me when Krycek shows up with the nanobots and the explanation as to what the virus is doing. It just feels extraordinarily contrived. The idea that the virus is hastened along by the medical equipment and that essentially you're supposed to what? Just let them die and then the virus is gone?
Yeah. I don't understand what the aliens are up to here.
I don't know. We'll
than
trick them into taking care of these people. And then when they do, joke's on them. They're super soldier now. I don't know what they were thinking with this.
Yeah.
They could have just brought Mulder back and had a different super soldier story. The nanobot things
they could have,
showing. Yeah. Krycek, he's up to something, reminding us, yes, Skinner was infected with nanobots in season 6, and they don't really come back to it much. It's just so much in the episode. So much crazy X-Files. What's the word? Shenanigans. Like I can accept the nanobots thing. That's fine. I remember it happened. That's fine. It was a decent episode. I'm okay with that happening in the X-Files. But now you're throwing in the nanobots in an episode where Mulder's sick with an alien virus. And if you do something about it, then he's going to become a super soldier. And what's a super soldier? But no, we're supposed to let him die in order to stop the super soldierness. And then there's an alien vaccine that's going to save Mulder. Is Krycek telling the truth? It's just so much level 11 X-Files in this episode that it's like too much. Too much episode.
And we align on that, Mike, because I always like episodes which just choose one lane and just do a great job in that story. Mm-hmm. You know, you can deviate slightly, you can complicate it, you can add more ins, but, you know, they're not trying to mash together 2 or 3 plots in those good episodes. This one, I think they did. You know, you've got Doggett with his career crisis. Mm-hmm. You've got Scully, you know, obviously still holding on to returning Mulder. You've got Skinner with his crisis. You've got Krycek on the other side of that. I mean, thank God they got rid of Monica for this episode, because if they had her in here as well, trying to make her fit in,
holding hands over Mulder's body, I sense he wants to wake up. Thank God they didn't do that. And all this to say, I don't hate the episode. I just think it's, if the casual viewer strolled in, this is not the episode for them.
Absolutely not. So much.
That's not something the writers need to live by. I wouldn't say, you know, we have to cater to the average audience. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying there's so much in here that the extreme stuff they're talking about is the most extreme stuff of the show. So the ideas, the concepts of what they're talking about, they would have no clue. They would be lost. Absolutely.
Okay, well let's wrap it up here, Mike. We've come to the end of another mythology two-parter. I'm going to just say, obviously, I like this one marginally more than This Is Not Happening. A little bit less fan service, just a little bit, and the complete removal of Monica Reyes that did it for me, and the Doggett / Kersh scenes, those were enough to elevate it. So I'm happy with it. We got exactly 3 lines of dialogue from David Duchovny. Token character appearances, Krycek being Krycek, perhaps being more than Krycek, which is to say the greatest hits. It's the greatest hits show. And the question is, will it set the stage for the remainder of season 8 with a returned Mulder-Scully dynamic? Will it be enough, Mike, to see us through to the rest of the season?
I don't know. What I'm looking forward to in this one, we have now 3 official X-Files agents in one office for the rest of the season. So very excited, at least in that respect, to see what comes of that.
Yeah.
Whether or not I think how they got here with Mulder is contrived or not, that's fine. Whatever.
Well, it was 100% contrived. Like I said at the beginning, the whole point of this episode is to just answer the question of how. It's not about why. Like, if it was why, then there could actually be some doubt as to whether he survives the episode. But no, he does. I think it's pretty clear. Like, there's enough goss happening in Hollywood at the time. You knew he was in. So it was just about how. And that can be fun. I'm into how. But I think we both agree it was a bit convoluted, the how in this case.
Yep. All right, man.
That's it. So, Mike, I think we've come to the point where you can give us the final word for Deadalive.
Ladies and gentlemen, always, for the love of God, always triple check the pulse and the vitals of the people you bury. Have a good night. Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you liked what you heard, please rate and review on your podcast app of choice. Andrew and I would be eternally grateful to you fine people for helping us expand and get the word out. Also, we've got a killer group on Facebook. Feel free to join in on the discussion at facebook.com/groups/thisisnothappeningpod and become an official member of the syndicate. We do polls and we have questions for every episode to give you guys the opportunity to chime in and possibly let your voice be heard on our recordings. And please join us on our new Twitter at tinhxfilespod, no dash, to stay up to date on everything, moment to moment. Thank you, and remember, don't stop swimming.